This episode of Warchant is sponsored by McMahon Cove Gilly. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
We had that intimidating factor. Our coaches, I mean, every one of us respected. You know, every one of them, they walked around and you knew these guys, it didn't matter what happened, they're going to go to bat for you, period.
That's what made the school from 88 on. I mean, you had Mr. Tidmore's principal. You didn't mess with that dude. Chief, Coach Lolley, Farmer, Schrader, Hallmark was in there the first year. Or did he leave?
He was there with us first year,
Yeah.
right? First year, and that was the only year.
None of them guys you messed with.
Well, we talked about that downstairs. I said, hell, for the longest, you believed every coach on the staff would whip your ass, bar Jim Earl. But you had that fear factor. I mean, you at practice at times, when they got heated, you felt like, well, if he wants to, he'll snatch me up with my ass. I better do what he wants. And I don't think kids have that these days.
I'm pretty sure the coaches went up in the stands a time or two in a basketball game.
I don't
Like they got a few of them.
Well, there was one game. I don't remember who we were playing. Their coach said something to one of the boys. I don't know who it was. I don't know who we was playing.
Well, they said something more. I remember that. Sure do. I can't remember who it was either, but I remember going over there because
Oh yeah.
I thought he'd said something. Well, he had one of my players told him, yeah. And I asked him what he said. He told me.
Yeah, it was about to be on. Coach Farmer, he's tearing through there. You know, he always want to kick somebody's ass.
Some stories we can't tell him here.
I'd like to get farm.
Yeah,
Well, that's okay. Take Coach Farmer for instance. That's what Minnow can. You know, I guess we're two linemen here. Well, I'm saying in our area.
I had
They
farm.
could have walked all 11 guys up there. It didn't matter how many they walked up there. We knew which one was ours. There never was no guess. You can call the play right now. I can tell you where I'm still supposed to go. And it's been 30. What did we decide it was?
30 years, but
Right at 30 years.
Right at 30.
He drilled it so hard.
Farmer was a good one. Farmer was a damn
I'll
good
tell
one.
y'all some stories on him. See, I coached him, you know. And
Yeah.
that's why we're so close. I coached him, and he brought up tough. I could tell some stories on him. This is about us here today, and not where he played. But he's a tough guy. That's the reason I wanted him. But he's got great emotions, great heart,
Right.
and that's what I like. So he's a heck of a football coach. And all my I was blessed. I had some coaches, like y'all were talking about every one of them in a positive way. I mean, I was blessed to be a head coach and have those guys.
Big staff
Yeah,
and damn good guys.
Yeah, and we were diversified as far as, you know, beliefs and everything like that. We didn't agree with everything, but we were together when it came to football, and I made sure of that. But, I mean, I had great guys to work with.
You got, like our junior year, a lot of what we learned, a lot of people don't remember, Coach Richards was our junior year coach. Didn't get to be our first senior year.
He's going to be in here.
Yeah.
He's going to be in here. I can't wait for that one.
He'll be going, hey,
I hired him. I still love him to death, and like I do all my guys, but I got some stories on that one too. Ask him when he gets in here the first time we ever met.
Let me ask you this, and it might be what you're talking about. Did he really sleep in his car?
Yes, with a newspaper for a blanket. Yeah,
Yeah, he tells that.
with a coat. Yeah, he wrapped up in newspaper.
Before he interviewed,
Yeah, well, I called all of his people that you know, he gave me his references. Of course, I'm my own guy. I make my own decisions. And when I called them, they all shot him down. I mean, they were behind his back knifing him, right? And so, but he didn't realize that the three he put on there, I couldn't stand their ass. I thought they were pansies. So I said, hell, if they're against him, I'm for it. Because hell, I don't believe nothing these guys say.
right?
So I hired him. You know, I ain't never been scared to hire anybody. I don't worry about that. And,
We knew that when he hired Coach Gutshot.
yeah, good shot. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. And Coach Gutt was a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times they would hire some people, and this happened to me 2 or 3 times. And this is the reason y'all never heard of these things. They would force me to take that I didn't approve or talk to, and that's when we would go at it. I mean, that's when we would go at it. Of course, I think they was hoping I would resign.
That's when we knew you was probably going to leave when we got shot.
But, you know, he was all
So
right.
he's the coach in waiting. We're,
But it's like Jimmy Ward, he done won 3 or 4 championships when I got him here before I left going to Auburn. And I was going to plan on working him in my younger guys because he'd won 3 or 4 state championships back home where I'm from. We were real close, and he'd always wanted to coach for me. So I got him here. And of course, the moment I got him here is when I went to Auburn because I thought I was going to be at North Jackson from now on. I wasn't planning on going nowhere else, right? So I was fixing to build another level to it. I was fixing to, you know.
I remember when he came, and I remember going through adjustments. There'd be a lot of times you would ask his opinion. Seemed like you could just tell early on that you respected his thoughts and opinions on.
And one thing about it, I'll talk to everybody. I want their input. I do. Now I know the final decision is going to be mine. And I've talked to some of the brightest minds in the world. And I'm not scared to get on chalkboard with anybody in the world. Period. I don't care. Okay? But that don't win ball games in the end. It's the process. It's having an identity. What are you about? Each team has its own identity. Okay? And it's up to a coach. A good coach will find that. Okay? That don't mean you're going to go undefeated every year. That means you're going to be in the fight every game. I mean, you're going to be in the fight. And y'all were talking about players, and I'm going to say this. And because Chris Jones even brought it up when he's in the Canadian League. He said, them North Jackson guys knew what to do. He said, I've never been around a bunch of players anywhere I've ever been that knew what to do better than they knew what to do. That's how thorough we was. So when we won that championship together up there, we did the same thing there that we did here. The same way. And if somebody needed getting on, we got on. That's the only way I know to coach. Correct it, you know. And they loved it. They loved it. Because most of them want to be their friends or don't want to pee nobody off or what. Them guys are just like, hey, they want to win. They just, you know, you got to get them together. You got to get all of them work, you know, one on the same page. But they want to win too. And that's just human nature, right?
right.
So I said, I'm not changing. You know, I've won more rings than all of them. I'm not changing my way. You know, just because one guy don't like the system or whatever, he can go to another system. You know, and that's the way we built up there. The defenses up there, and you guys that play defense, and I can show you on board. They talk about the dime, and I'm getting on football now. And I'm gonna hush and chat, but they talk about the dime and all this pro football and hell, we were running the dime. We just didn't call it that. We still called it the base 4 damn 3. But where'd I tell you to stack off the outside leg of that damn tackle? We could squeeze that big gap from there, but yet use out there where you could defend the pass. That's what they do with the nickel and the dime. But we always played tight end, so I'd have Jimmy in the box. I would see gap and have where I could get the end outside. Now, once that damn tight end wasn't there, we could rock our ass down and get him out of the box, and he was the dime, right? I didn't have to go tell y'all it was a dime, but y'all were running. Built in. It was built in. So, you know, I'm just saying, same stuff they doing up there.
Keep talking, Coach.
Hey, just don't give that tape to Yates. We won't be able to put our
Keep
hands.
talking.
Well,
And that's another thing, like what you're doing right there. You don't know how superstitious a lot of us was. I mean, I remember getting taped up because we rotated. I can't remember who the other one I rotated with, but I either had to be taped first this week or second the next week. I remember getting taped up. We were halfway to Belleville. I got taped up 4 hours early. I mean, I'm taped up 4 hours early because Coach Rader's like, look, we ain't screwing this up again. We screwed up one time. As it gets going. We got out of sync. He said, I got to tape you now. Well, we didn't even stop needing it. What are we, Quincy's or something like
Quincy's,
that?
hell yeah.
We didn't even eat yet, and I'm already taped up. Because Rader, I mean, we were all so superstitious. So, you know, there's a lot went into that year. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
All right, let me ask a question. We're talking about pregame stuff. Where did the ammonia bottle? Where'd that originate? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I was not really a whole part of that. That was Schrader.
That's a Schrader
And
deal.
was it the same damn medicine bottle for every damn year?
I swear the first year they had that until the year I graduated. It's the same bottle.
Hey, the first time I ever did that, it was going around, and I was like, that's the coaches room. What are y'all doing? And then they were like, no, hit that way. Get your eyes like, what are you doing? They're like,
It's legal here.
hey, the first time I did that, I got up and walked around. I was like, oh my God, y'all doing that playing?
Hey, it's okay in North Jackson.
But after that, though, it felt like
We used to stitch guys up at halftime, right? I mean, we had kept keying them and all. I'll sew it up. It'd be fine.
I'm fairly
Yeah.
ammonia came from Jacksonville when Schrader was down there, because when I got to Jacksonville, we would have ice buckets and we'd pour ammonia bottles in there, and when it was hot and the players started getting a little woozy, we'd dip a towel in there and put it on the head. So I'm pretty sure that's where that came from.
What, you know, the programs today, I don't think there's anybody, how many years ago was it, guys, 30? I mean, I used to meet with the parents, and I told them how we was going to practice. I made them fill out forms on our guys, how to air the helmet up. We had to fill out a form on it, remember? We had to fill out forms for everything. I always wanted to come to our practice and see that we was doing everything right, because if one of you ever lowered your head on defense, what did I do? Get your ass out. That's right. And put your hands here.
Head was up.
Exactly.
Let's see what you
see what you hit. And we went over everything like, well, I wanted to show what we were doing. I wanted the parents to know what we were teaching them. Right. That we was going to be physical. Every year we sent off and got brand new reworked shoulder pads and helmet. I said, that's going to be two things we put on better than anybody else in the country. You know, but all I'm saying is we had started working a system to me that y'all could be proud of. But we were light years ahead of most. I mean, how many's doing that today? Teaching them how to air the helmet, making them fill out forms, making them go through how you tackle. And I made every one of my coaches show how they was instructed. You remember? And the parents or guardians had to be there and sign that stuff. Then y'all had, but I'm just saying, Schrader and then we kept files. You was going to Schrader, but we kept files back, and we started trying to get both schools to do it as we, you know, come together of y'all in PE, how many push-ups you did, how many pull-ups. We knew when you came to the high school. It was in his files. We had to go down and check, you know. But anyway, I mean, they were good.
Some of the best things ever was Schrader. And I wonder if other schools are like this too. If you ever was down on the field and they came out to you, what did he ask? Are you hurt or injured?
You hurt? Yeah.
Or injured?
Are you injured?
You went in there going, well, damn. If you don't know, then get your ass up and let's go.
Exactly.
Talking about the organization, just like being organized, the code of the weight room, all the weights had a certain code. If something was off the wrong ground, man, you're talking about going off the deep end. I remember Schrader, you know, he would go off the deep end, and it wasn't, hey, you put this here. It's you're just as responsible as whoever didn't put it in there right. So you get that weight, you put it where it goes. You know, and that was.
Could you eat off the floors?
Yeah,
because we cleaned it up. Because we all divided it up.
That's the cleanest facility I've ever been in.
The seniors had 2 times because they were seniors. Yeah. They had 2 times. The coaches had 2 times, and then the other classes had 1 time. The juniors had once. The sophomores had once. The freshmen had once. Because it's some days a week. We cleaned up after the ball game. Coaches had it twice. The seniors, because we felt that we were the leaders. We had to show the others how it's done, and don't be scared of work. Here's your star running back. Here's your quarterback. They're in there with a broom. Okay? So we wanted to teach something there. Okay? A little bit of pride.
Damn it, I got to bring this up, Coach. We're talking about the damn field house being clean. I just feel like it fits right in. You were there. May not get you back up here to ask you this one. Zach, I know you were in there. You remember the massive damn turd that nobody would claim in the field house that time?
I remember, and I will not even comment who I think it was. I'm telling you.
I remember you brought it.
Never in my life.
You asked him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Was that you? No.
I was like, who has messed my entire damn facility? I have never seen nothing like that.
No. It knocked the power out in the bathroom. It had already absorbed all the water
I'm
out
going
of the
each
toilet.
locker. Who did that?
Yeah, it was just laying in there like
I still hear him holler.
You know.
Holler the name.
Well, you know, everybody had been looking at it for a damn an hour and a half. And we were getting ready to go to practice, and somebody took you back there and showed you, and you come down and you said, damn! And I won't say his name either, since you don't want to. He said, damn, was that you? And everybody died. He said, hell no, it wasn't me. He said, well, somebody's laying dead somewhere. Nobody ever owned up to it. It was ungodly.
If I'm not mistaken, it was you claiming it was clear.
Oh, it's bigger than that damn microphone. Biggest thing I ever seen. It looked like one of them damn Insta logs they put in a fireplace.
I got a question for you, 3 youngsters. And I know
3 youngsters. I did 41 yesterday.
Where year did you graduate at?
99.
99.
Yeah, me and him graduated together in 99.
What about you?
05.
05. Well, you are the youngest. Y'all made a comment on your first episode, and you was asking your guest that you had in, one of the coaches, if you was gonna pick 11 guys to get off the bus, who would be your 11 that you're gonna take?
Mhm.
And my question to you guys, why not take these guys, these 11? We're the ones to finish the drill. Why not take us? So that's my question I posed to you all.
No, that wasn't in reference of what you could get done on the field. That was just we just talking about
That's
physical
my
appearance.
Physical appearance.
That's why we brought up Kenny Wayne.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, these two guys made the list.
Yeah,
We talked about. We were just talking about passing eye test.
Eye test.
You ain't
Yeah, that
took
was
a snap. Just you get off the bus. Who looks like a player and who like
yeah, if you
who
was
is legit, imposing, physical,
Who made the list?
intimidating.
I can't even really.
Well,
remember.
they named like 5 players,
Well,
and I know.
Kenny Smith
Kenny,
was
bring it
you can't say Kenny Smith wasn't intimidating with them damn hands taped up like a boxer and his shirt untucked, spatted
I
up.
know y'all named Phillip.
6'7",
Yeah.
260 pounds. I mean,
Carlton.
I mean,
Nay,
I don't think there was any on the list that you could say didn't look the part.
I think we talked about these two.
Yeah, I know Owen's name was brought up. But if you, to be honest with you, and I said this earlier, it might have been downstairs.
Them more wisdom boys.
To be honest with you, I know I said it downstairs. I don't think I said it on the air. That the 93 game, the championship game. My favorite part of that whole damn deal is when it starts and y'all are walking down the damn hill. I felt like when watching y'all walk down the hill, ball game. The size, the strut, the swag, y'all had it. You know what I mean?
That came from 2 hours before we got there.
And that looked like-
we heard nothing but shit about. There's no way y'all can compete down here. No way.
But there was no.
He'll tell you.
A lot of players will jump around and try to look ready. Y'all were just walking like
Look, they have
it's
one
like the
first
two
down. the
bulls.
first half.
One runs down there and one
first
walks
down
down
the first
there.
half.
Y'all let y'all figure out the rest of that one.
I think
But
you
y'all walked
bought.
down there and y'all looked it and you backed it up.
I think you bought a newspaper every place we stopped at. Said, look, we ain't got no choice.
All of them picked them and.
We'll beat.
Yeah.
Were y'all beat? No. Heck no. We
But I
go.
just remember too, you have to gauge everything when you go on the road, and we already was familiar. They had a coach on the staff that was a communications expert in awards over there. We knew that we felt their sidelines were bugged, and so us coaches had already been working on that all week. We didn't want to alert the players of that because that gives them one more damn thing to worry about on the road on the long trip. Now, I didn't want that out of them. So us coaches were very familiar with a lot of things that had been said, was going on. So I get there and I thought the field was wetter, even though it rained, son. I thought the field was a little more damp than I expected. You remember we went out there and I don't know, the grass was just wet for some reason. So, like the double handoff, all right, immediately I said, hell no. We had 2 or 3 ways to run it. Hell, we didn't have to double handoff. We could fake the same damn thing, run the play, without having to double handoff it. The quarterback would just make the handoff. Now, you fake it, run down and hand it off. Well, that's how we scored on the first one behind Sean Martin Pullers. You to the right side. And it was that play. So, because it was wet, I changed the structure of the blocking scheme. I didn't want to risk the damn double handoff down there in the scoring zone. So just little things like that, I had to tune them adjustments in, right? And I had to kind of watch the layout. As the game went, the Stuckey kid that played pro football, we had to have a critical first down. Okay, it was because they done come back, invest, do a touchdown pass. So we're sitting there. It's in the fourth quarter again. It was a penalty by like Piedmont, and I run the fake the double handoff, quarterback key off of it around the right side. Ricky, and he went for the first down. Remember that? And I looked over the coaches. I said, "Oh, this shit is worth it now. This is over." I said, "It's over." And I said, "We got it now." But that was the first. I said, "It's going to come down to a point that somebody's going to have to make a critical play when we have it, and everybody's got to be on the same page." So as the game was unwinding, I just felt that was the play that was going to be loose. They was going to be looking for all y'all inside on the double handoff stuff. It was going to freeze them, and we was going to be able to hopefully get it. But little things like that, when you go on the road, you got to worry about those things, So
You
Mm-hmm.
put attention in that game. I mean, we really, like I said, we handled it from start to finish. Never, but at one point in time, right there near the end, we get an offsides call. They come up call offsides. A minute later they come back and say, nope, delay a game. that's when I was like, oh shit, here we go. Well, they could have very easily changed it right there, but
That damn official.
I think the same play that Ricky went for 27, I think we called it again. He got out there, they hit him out of bounds. Hey, the game over.
I hope y'all remember on that sidelines, I was not real happy with his ass. And that was 2 or 3 times, and I knew he was from Birmingham, buying. And I faced his ass when I went to Auburn. We had him in 2 or 3 SEC games, and his ass over there made. I said, you still ain't forgave my ass.
Now, he scored 14 points.
Oh, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. And I told him, I said, you still haven't forgot my
Hey,
ass.
listen, the
been
Rams put him in the game. Y'all watch the game?
Oh, yeah,
They put him in
exactly.
the game, period.
And he was the worst official I've ever seen, and yet he gets promoted to college football. Ain't that some shit? And I sat there and I thought, you wasn't worth a shit then, and you ain't worth a shit now. But he just, he took the game, he tried. He kept trying. So when he went for that first down, that's when I went right up there. I said, it's over for you now, But anyway.
You talk about critical plays, and we could ask the critical question. We talked about it while we was, eating.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's add a little spice, have a little fun. Us guys would like to ask the question, and I know Owen didn't eat with us, but give me your top 5 teams that you coached since the 1988 team up until you left to go to Auburn. Your top 5, and in order from 5 to 1.
Stafford, I really can't do that because, y'all won the thing. You're there. So to name 4 more because they were all so special now. They all had their, I'm going to tell you what, the year that we're on probation, okay, we went undefeated, okay? We beat Scottsboro, which was the best team in the state with the exception of us at that time. I think we were rated 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about Colton played that game, but Colton was crippled. Colton hobbled the whole night. Okay, he hobbled around, and we still won that game. Okay, so somebody says, "Well," I said, "Colton was a great player. He was a great player. That team right there, we win the state with that team. We win it." Folks don't realize that Sachs went to the championship game. We had to play Sachs that week, and they kept my ass in Montgomery all week. I had to be sitting there in the morning, go to meetings, try to make it back for practice. Y'all would be waiting out there. I'd come back to damn practice and y'all was sitting there waiting on my ass to get there, and the coaches tried, but it ain't the same as the head coach there. I was not able to take those film in there and watch it like, hell, I was battling lawyers from that shit. I was battling them all week. Not even really knowing if they might keep us from playing in that game or not.
Right.
So I'm up there battling in Montgomery all week, okay? Montgomery beat us. It wasn't Sachs. I ain't taking that away from Sachs.
We'd have played Blunt in the finals.
We'd have won it. There's nobody could have beat us. Nobody could have beat that team. All right, I've had 2 or 3 more. Same type, scenarios. Okay. The year before, I thought we could have won back to back. The year before, we played. See, here's dirty poo that y'all never. We were supposed to play that game. We was going to move it to a Thursday night. Okay, because rain was coming in on Friday. So it's good. So we're going to play on Thursday night. So Greg's, everybody takes my equipment up there in the equipment trucks. We're eating pregame. Here's the scenario on that story y'all didn't know about. A lot of folks didn't know about. My daughter was supposed to have surgery. She had many surgeries. She was scheduled to go to Birmingham. They could schedule it either for that Thursday or Friday. So me and that coach, I called him, told him the whole situation a week or 2 ahead of time. I said, the weather's coming in. We've already checked. I said, let's play that damn thing on Thursday. It'd be good for both of us. And I said, I got a daughter. I got to let them know on the surgery one way or another. So Brittany's scheduled for surgery where I can be with her on Friday. Then we get all the way up there. They said, no, we've changed our mind. We're going to play it on, And of course, I'm not wanting to upset y'all, but I said in my office, I think 2 or 3 players did come out and said, Coach, that's dirty poo. And I'm going to say they had the great running back one time, Alabama. Was at the same time, I think. But anyway, it wasn't enough, but it was Buckhorn we was going to play. And Brian Steger, I think, was the guy that was there. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, it's dirty poo. But anyway, Brittany, she understood, even though she wanted her daddy. My point being is I had a lot on my mind at night. We go up and we beat them. And beat them pretty dang good. But during that process, we had 1 or 2 get hurt. We got Chad Apple that got hit in the
He got punched in the
kidney.
Yeah.
Neil Shavers is hurt. There's 2 or 3 more. And we got about 4 or 5 injuries. If we get by that next, if we just get out of there and get the next game, I think we win 2.
So
I just really do.
that was sweet justice for us because that's our junior year. That was our junior year.
Correct.
All right, Piedmont knocked us out.
Mhm.
And then we knocked Piedmont out the 4th round the next year.
Correct.
So to me, other than the championship game, the Piedmont game is special because Greg Nations was a beast. I mean, he was a
He was
good
a
running
good
back.
running back.
I mean,
I thought Piedmont was probably better than Daleville.
Absolutely.
Yes.
After we played both the games, I thought
Physical.
Piedmont was
You had to be
better.
physical or you wasn't going to win that ball game. You had to match your physicality.
On
They
the
had the
way,
best
on
defensive
the way home
tackle that I tried to block all year.
on the way home from state, I remember being in the back seat and a car come up beside us. Of course, we had state champs wrote on the back of the window. And they were blowing the horn, shooting us birds, and then they held up a damn sign they had made real quick with a pen, little piece of paper that said Piedmont. We won the shit.
That was a good ball game.
Get our attention there.
Piedmont was the most successful. The game he's talking about at Scottsboro where Carlton played was nearly, I think, the same crowd that we had at Piedmont. Because I went and watched
Oh
it.
yeah, man. I remember that game. I was a sophomore, and when we got out for athletic PE to walk down to the field house, there was people already standing out there, and they already had it roped off in the end zones. And
You got to look, our 4th round, a lot of South Pittsburgh, Jasper, everybody's already out of the playoffs.
Right.
Everybody's down there watching. So
Carlton was a heck of a player, but he also had another guy beside him.
Oh, we had a good football team. Doug Clark was pretty good.
that's you talking about our team. I mean, like I said, we were just fundamentally. You take them 4 linemen. We may not have defensive linemen. We may not have a lot of tackles because we did our job. Your job is to pad, keep them off the linebackers. They're coming up to make the tackles. Look at our tackles compared to theirs because we did our job. Period.
I love Coach Farmer like the son. I mean, like he played for us, right? I love him to death. But I'll never forget the time. We're fixing to play Franklin County, I think it was. And we were beat up. We had a look. I said, all right, Coach, that's enough on it down there. The drills, that's good. I'll take the pads off. Let them, because we was down there running through stuff with the pads off. I said, give the guys a break and let them get out there a little bit. We're not quite there, Coach. He said, I got 2 or 3 more things. I said, Coach, don't you get nobody hurt. I know y'all. He said, take me just a second. I mean, it wasn't a minute later. Schrader! Heard him holler. 2 of y'all were down. You remember that? 2. Which 2 was it? There. So I said, Coach. I said, you might have to stay here all night with the replacements to get them caught up to where they already were before you got them hurt. He just sunk in her head. I said, I'm going to find out how good a coach you are now.
See that? Like you watch the highlights. First 4 games, I'm a defensive tackle. Nathan Oliver gets hurt. I go defensive end. That's like you said, the depth. Twinkie comes in, defensive tackle. Hey, we had a lot of athletes. Period.
There was a lot of unselfishness, I felt like, You got Stafford played at UTC. I remember watching him play against Alabama, and Stafford didn't know who I was, but I knew who he was. I was beating my chest like, hey, that's a Chief playing against Alabama. But, there wasn't a whole lot of divas, it didn't seem like. Everybody did their part. And it's hard to get 11 people on the field, especially with a team like that.
Sure.
They had to be a lot of, I guess unselfishness is what I'm trying to say. Especially at fullback. I mean, you got Gerard, and then there's Terry Collier, which 1A and 1B, but somebody's got to go at their first snap.
But they cared about each other.
Exactly.
They cared about each other. There wasn't
Exactly.
none of that. And we made practices tough enough where everybody was in. It was, let's just make sure we all touch it when it's time. But we don't care who scores. I don't think these guys really give a crap who scored.
It was just amazing. Like,
Johnson
somebody come out
in.
for a play, you got somebody else in there. I mean, they're good. The depth of running back was just absurd.
Well, there were some good players too that were voted off through the years that didn't buy in, that weren't that type
Exactly.
of players.
See,
Some damn good players.
You take a lot of coaches nowadays, they'll fall under pressure. If you'll watch towards the end of the game, and I don't know if he'll admit to it or not, it got towards the end of this game, I seen Coach Lolley say, look here, I got this now. I'm going over there telling Coach Thomas, like, let's run this. He calls him over and says, come here, let's go. Coach Thomas was calling plays. Now, if you look towards the end, you'll see who's calling plays.
Well, I was going to always try to know. I wanted to give as much responsibility as I could, but in the end, it falls on me.
Exactly.
And I've coached pro ball and college ball where coach be sitting over on the earphones, things go wrong, and I seen it this year. And then they go fire the assistant. They'll fire him at the end of the year, but they should know the call. I mean, why does the damn guy wear the earphones if the head coach don't know the call? And he says, well, this guy called this. Well, you wasn't hearing it, coach? I mean, coach, don't think about it, but they're going to blame everybody but themselves in the end. They're gonna blame everybody but themselves. And I just didn't want that on our staff. I said, look, when it gets down there tight, now, and we communicated. There was times that he just walked over and says, Coach, it's yours now. We got it here, it's yours. Take it home, whatever. And we communicated and worked it out, But,
You look towards the end of the game because Coach Thomas was telling me something. I'm telling it out. He's like, hey, come here. And he changed it just like that. I mean, like I said, he took it over at the end. Coach Thomas doing a great job. We always kid about Coach Thomas. If you ever watch Coach Thomas, we always make fun of him because he can't help but shake his ass every time we run.
Yeah.
Y'all ever see that?
Shake that knee.
He busted me one time making fun of him doing that. He was right behind me. I did.
Every time they start,
he
you
was
shake
right
his
behind
ass,
me.
boy.
But y'all was talking about depth though at the running back. I mean, because you have Jonathan, you have Billy, have Marquis. I mean, it was just guys after guys after guys, coming in. So if somebody needed a breather, put somebody else in. We didn't miss a beat. As long as we had that offensive line going, you can just stick by anybody back there to tote the ball. They were gonna get yards. That offensive line was just opening up holes. So really, Joey Watson,
Keith
Baker,
had good balance.
Keith Baker, small as he was.
Keith Baker, y'all remember when everybody was hurt?
That's
Going to Franklin County.
That's right.
And we just run the speed.
Dude, he took it.
Yeah.
Keith Baker was tough to be so small.
Oh yeah.
Here's
he
what
was
y'all
tough.
don't know. Listen, this is how far we went. Y'all don't know this. This is way before Facebook. This is way before anything you could just Google up, find whatever you want. Our linemen, Jason Ferguson, Clay McKee, Sean Martin, I didn't go so much into this. I just want to line up here. They would know who's lining up across of them before we ever played. They knew who their girlfriend's name was.
Correct.
I
They
remember
knew who
reading
their
this
friend's
article.
name was.
I remember reading about that.
And and I'm telling you, during the game, they've got this guy so messed up because there's no way you playing a guy 4 hours away. How you know my girlfriend? I mean, they would have them so tore up. They couldn't play a game.
One of my favorite things that Jeff touched on when y'all were coming down that hill. Of course, we're young fellas at that time. What were we in 7th grade, something like that, 6th grade? But watching y'all come down the hill, like I can't imagine how y'all felt, but I didn't have a doubt we was fixing to go out there and win this game. And I'm just a little guy sitting up in the stands, fired up about it. But one of my favorite stories of this whole game, Stephen Hardis loves this story. Out there in warm-ups, you out there pulling the pistols.
Oh, I shot him down.
Yeah, I was about to
But there was some stuff happened at the state association meeting.
Right.
And
I loved it.
so
I
I went off on him during the meeting there that day because he said, we're going to have plenty of security for y'all. You folks come down, but when you get there, our crowd's a little bit. And they was trying to intimidate us. Well, I said, hey, look, I got security too. And I got my security to keep my fans off your ass. I said, because I'm telling you, we coming down there for one reason only, and that's to whip your ass, okay? So, and he says, well, Coach, he said, I've been watching y'all. And I said, we're going to run the same dives. We're going to run the same buck sweep. And I said, we're going to play the same defense, Coach. And I said, we're not coming down there. I said, I know y'all think this ain't going to be no ball game, but you better get ready because we coming. And so that was kind of the meeting. Our coach says, dang, he said, most of the time you say always stay calm. I said he didn't need calm at this point. He needed to know. But anyway, so that was the reason for the pistol shooting. A lot of folks didn't know the deal. I told him we was coming, and that's when I shot him. Yeah, I did.
Stephen Hardis, man, that's one of the greatest things ever.
Colbert County done that to us too, didn't it?
They
Well,
walked
they shut the
around
lights
outside. That was Cherokee County, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they were going to make us dress in
Yeah,
two
sure.
different dressing rooms. Remember, and I kept
Walked the track.
Yeah. And then
Colbert
that,
County had a pretty rough crowd.
Yeah.
That's probably the roughest place I ever.
It is. Cherokee.
Colbert County.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of
that's
the.
when one of them
Oh.
kicked one of our guys. I want to say kicked Rooster, wasn't it? Somebody kicked him coming off the field warm-ups. So we get into it, and then I said, wait till they open that gate down there and let our bunch in. And we come back by going on the field, somebody done whooped piss out of him. I don't know who it was. But anyway.
This goes back to a previous question right quick, or a previous statement. Just so y'all know, he said pick 4 other teams because this was his favorite, just so y'all know.
Yes, absolutely.
I want y'all to say he said pick 4
I
others.
said, we're the
He said,
champions.
okay.
We're the champions. I mean, I'm just saying this group had it all. They really did. I put them up against anybody and play anybody. It didn't matter.
I do got a question I want to ask you. Now, I mean, what was your favorite, coaching from Stevenson or when it turned to North Jackson?
Do what now?
Coaching at
Jackson.
Stevenson or when it went to North Jackson?
Oh,
I know
mean,
you had some good times at Stevenson.
absolutely. But bringing this program together, because that's not easy. The last 3 or 4 people tried it, fell flat on their face, and then the tremendous rival. I wasn't worried about it because I know how I coach. I've got tremendous confidence like you guys do, or you wouldn't win the championship, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm raised that way. I was born that way, just like you are. And I knew that I was going to win. I didn't give a damn where I went. But to bring it together, you know, I said, this is going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to get to build this thing the way I wanted to. So when we started out, I was the first person hired in the entire whole deal. I had to say so about the principal. A lot of folks don't know that.
Wow.
They was going to hire some other people. I said, no, I'm not working there. I got to have people that's got my back. If I'm going to do this, I got to have somebody that's got my back. So then we talked about the school colors and this, that, and other. Well, I always wanted black. Black, period, and red, black, and silver. So all the names got to coming up. To be honest, at first, I loved North Jackson, now the name. But if the North team played the South team in the Senior Bowl, I'm for the South team. Right? We're born in the South. So I didn't like the word North, like the North playing the South in the Senior Bowl kind of, you know? So I'm like, well, let's call it the Mountain Valley Raiders, or let's call it the something Raiders, or, you know, and I said, I want a tough image, I want toughness, you know, all those things. And then somebody come up with the Chiefs name. I didn't actually do that. A lot of people said, well, he did that too. I didn't. We had a committee. But anyway, and it turned out great.
I'd heard it was almost the
Great.
Raiders. That's what I'd heard the
Yeah.
name was.
Yeah.
Almost.
Because I wanted to be feared, and that was the team back then, you know, just win, baby, with the black or silver, and, you know, and I wanted that, you know.